SumnSumnSumn, hit the key.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, SumnSumnSumn, hit the keys. Here today to do a review on the Atom Audio T5vs. I just want to make sure I put this full disclosure out there that Sweetwater did send me these monitors to check out and see what I thought, but in no way, shape, or form did that influence my thoughts or this review in any way, shape, or form. All the opinions in this review are mine and solely mine. Make sure if you guys like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this review. Here's how the monitors come packaged. I didn't want to do a whole unboxing on monitors, but I did want to show you how they do come packaged. You'll see the power cord at the top of the box, nicely packaged when you open up the box. Once you pull the cord out, and underneath that part of the packaging is what we all came to see, the T5v in all its glory. The T5v will be wrapped to protect the outside of the speaker from any scratches. You can either neatly remove the covering or just savagely rip it off like I did here. Don't worry, no judgment passed at all. So for me, I ended up deciding to get these Atom Audios to upgrade over any other kind of monitor because Atom Audio has a great reputation. They're supposed to be basically top of the line for budget monitors at this price point for under $500 for the pair. I ended up going with the T5vs though over any other size because I'm in just a basic room. That's where my studio is at. And I didn't want some speakers that were going to be too overpowering or speakers that I was only going to turn up 25% of the way and not use. So I went with these because these are the perfect match for the room. And I must say, as soon as I plugged these things in right out of the box, it was already a huge upgrade over the previous monitors that I did have. I'm not here to bash any other monitor companies, so we're going to keep this solely about the Atom Audios. But I did let them burn in for 24 hours. There is typically supposed to be an 8-hour burn-in period for you to be able to get your maximum sound out of these monitors. But I just went ahead with the 24 hours because that's what you would do with like headphones or something like that. And I will say, I can't stress enough that right out the box, I listened to all kind of music that I made. I was listening to stuff like Kanye. I mean, I even listened to some Guns N' Roses. I listened to every single genre of music, some country, some EDM. I listened to everything that I could in these monitors because I wanted to get the full feel for them, and they definitely sounded great. The speaker is powered with the 50-watt Class D amplifier for the woofer and a 20-watt Class D amplifier for the tweeter. The woofer is a polypropylene woofer. The frequency response range of this speaker is 45 Hz to 25 kilohertz. One thing that I must mention is that I was able to listen to these monitors all day without any kind of ear fatigue. And any musician knows that that's obviously a plus when you're using monitors or headphones or whatever it is that you're using, because we do sit down and we mix for long periods of time. So I did sit in front of these monitors for probably about 6.5 hours with no break, and I felt no fatigue at all. I have sat down all day, every day since I got these monitors, and I've just been going back through and remixing all kinds of different mixes that I had, because as soon as I turned these on, like spots where I was having trouble from the headphones to the car or the other pair of monitors that I had to the car, I could tell right away what frequencies needed to be adjusted, what needed to be fixed, why the reverb was too thick. I mean, I could figure out all kinds of stuff with these monitors just based off of the first use. I can't stress enough that these are definitely some solid monitors. For me, the lows are good. The frequency response on these monitors are from 45 Hertz all the way up to 25 kilohertz. So that's definitely enough for you to be able to get a full mix. If the bass isn't enough for you, Atom Audio also does offer a subwoofer that goes with these monitors perfectly. So that's also an option for you as well. When looking at the back of the speaker, you'll notice here that there's a port at the top. Below that, you have two separate frequency controls. You can control high frequencies with the HF switch, and you can either boost 2 dBs, take away 2 dB, or leave it at 0. Underneath that, you can do the same with the lower frequencies with this LF switch. Below the LF switch, you have your volume knob. There's a balance line out for XLR connection and an RCA line for an unbalanced connection. And lastly, there's a switch here as well. Make sure that you have the switch set to the proper line connection or you won't get any volume. This monitor does not come with a 1/4-inch TRS option, but no worries. If your interface doesn't have an XLR connection, like my Apollo Twin, then you can simply get an XLR to 1/4-inch TRS cord and use that for those that didn't know that that was an option. What also makes these monitors nice is that you can move outside of the sweet spot. So with a lot of monitors, when you're using them, you're kind of stuck in your spot. As you face your monitors towards you, you're kind of stuck in that spot and you can't move out of the sweet spot. And if you move just a little bit, you know, to the right or a little bit to the left, it's going to change the way that the sound sounds in the mix. If you look at these cones right here, so for the tweeters, it's supposed to disperse the high frequencies a little bit better. And that's why it's able for you to be able to move out of the sweet spot and be able to listen to music in other places. I will also say that I often sit on the couch and when I'm listening to music, and I know it's not a mix spot, but it sounds so much better than it did with the previous monitors that I had. Like I can move anywhere in the room and the mix still sounds okay. Now it's not going to sound like if I was in the sweet spot, but it does sound better than your typical monitors are going to sound once you start moving out of the sweet spot. Each ribbon tweeter is handcrafted in Atom Audio's Berlin factory. As you can see here, each ribbon is hand folded using a special jig. Any error will affect the finished tweeter. The assembly time for each tweeter is roughly 30 minutes, while the regular dome tweeter is constructed in just a few minutes. So the next thing I'm about to say is probably going to sound pretty cliche, but for budget monitors, these are by far the most detailed budget monitors I've ever heard in my entire life. The highs sound extra crisp. The lows sound rumbly enough, the mids sound good enough for you to be able to decide to make good or bad mixing decisions. I guess we don't really make bad mixing decisions, we just make a bad mixing decision. But what I'm getting at is basically you can feel comfortable with the decisions that you make in your mix with these monitors, and it's gonna correlate over to a car stereo or over to your surround sound at your house or over to your iPods or whatever it is, whatever you're using, your studio monitors, whatever you're using. Whatever you mix with these, it's going to transfer over. I can't stress enough when I tell you that I was really blown away with the sound of these monitors at first listen before they even burned away. It's 100% truth. I can't stress enough. I would definitely recommend these monitors to anybody asking me what monitors that they should get. The frequency response of these monitors is 45 hertz to 25 kilohertz. As you can see from the chart, the T5vs do have a bit of a mid scooped and some of the high end is boosted. But after mixing a bunch of music on these monitors, I felt like the mixes were consistent from monitors to car speakers to headphones to home stereos. Wherever I played it at, I felt like the mix stayed true. So I opted to get the ProJack Studio Monitor Isolation Kit. This kit is supposed to be better than your typical foam isolation pads on cutting down vibrations on whatever surface you put your monitors on, from your desktop to your monitor stands, wherever you put them. The ProJacks comes in 3 different parts, so you can leave the monitors flat or tilt them however you need. So overall, what are my thoughts on these monitors? So overall, I do think that these monitors are absolutely phenomenal. I think that they are must-haves. If you are looking to get monitors and you're not sure what monitors you're thinking about getting, my recommendation would definitely be these monitors. There's only one negative that I do have about the monitors. So when you look at the monitors on the back with the volume is the only complaint that I have, and that seems to be the biggest complaint with these. When you turn the volume knob, there's no click lock, you know what I'm saying? So there's no click into spot or anything like that. So typically, you know, you would like it to click from 1 dB to 2 dB to 3 dB, so on and so forth, just so that you can make sure that both monitors' volumes are exactly the same. Typically, I leave mine on 0. So that's kind of an easy way for me to figure out for both monitors, just put them both exactly on 0. But that's one thing that I wish they would have fixed. But the knob doesn't feel cheap. It does feel, you know, it feels good when it's moving, so on and so forth. So I don't want to make it seem like the knob is cheap, but that is my one negative. But everything else is a positive. I can't stress enough that I had high expectations for this monitor when I got it, and it exceeded the expectations that I have. I couldn't go back to the old monitors that I was using. I used to mix a lot of music in headphones and my mixes would be about 92 to 93% there. But I was always wondering, how can I get my mix to get to the next level? Like, how can I get my mix from 92% to 100%? Because it doesn't sound like this radio mix sounds, but I know they use a lot of the same equipment that I did. And I feel like these monitors right here can help me fix a lot of those issues, because everything that I've mixed since then has been really good. You know, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant, but it's been much better than what I was doing before. And so obviously I think that's a plus. Make sure if you guys like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sum, hit the key.